What's happening, y'all? It's your favorite uncle, Uncle Bird. Welcome to Uncle Bird's Barbecue. And in today's video, I'm gonna show you the easy way to make juicy chicken breasts on the grill each and every time. First thing you gotta do is you had to have the right chicken. And in this video, I'm gonna be using split chicken breasts that got the bone in and the skin on. And the reason why I'm using these is because the bone protects the bottom of the chicken breast while it's on the grill, and the skin gonna protect the top. And plus the skin is gonna have fat that'll melt and baste the chicken as it cooks. So it's gonna help keep these things juicy. So let's go ahead and get them out the pack. And in today's video, to prepare the chicken, I'm gonna be using a pair of OXO Good Grip Poultry Shears, a plastic polypropylene cutting board, and a 48 Blade Jaccard. Taking a look at the chicken, they pretty clean, so I need to get them trimmed up before I hit them with the Jaccard. You want to go along this line. First thing you want to do is remove this rib, because the split chicken breast will have the ribs still attached. This is the part that I like to go ahead and remove, and then I'll just clip any just excess fat or any remaining bits, any remaining unappealing bits. So go ahead and just use your poultry shears and just use it to create a line and just go right up there and cut off. Sometimes they leave the wing bone in there too, so you'll want to go ahead and cut that off as well. So you'll want to do that for all your chicken breasts, and then you also want to hit them with the Jaccard 2 or 3 times, 4 if you're feeling froggy. Go ahead. And then you want to loosen up the skin from the chicken, because that's going to facilitate seasoning underneath the skin after they come out the brine. And you see the little holes that's in the chicken skin? Those little holes is going to allow fat to escape, so it's going to make the skin where it's bite through, so you'll still be able to eat the skin. Let's go ahead and clean the rest of these up and get ready for the brine. So as you can see, let's just want to show you in this example. This is another example where we'll be taking out the rib and then removing the wing portion that is remaining in the rib, and you can take any of the nasty little extra fat. You don't want to trim off too much fat though, because that fat's going to also help protect the chicken breast while it cooks. I want you to take a look at this. This is one of my favorite things about the split chicken breast, is it has like a little pocket in it. We're going to use that pocket to our advantage, and we're going to season that up once we get it out the brine. All right, so again, you want to make sure that you use your finger to open up a pocket when you separating the skin from the meat. You just want to make sure that you don't go in out crazy and just tear the skin off. The skin still needs to remain attached, because it's going to act like a fat blanket to cover the meat, keep it juicy. Let's go ahead and make our brine, and our brine is going to consist of plain iodized salt and water. What the brine is going to do for us is it's going to help tenderize the meat. It's going to season it and salt the meat all the way down to the bone, and it's going to help prevent it from overcooking. So in case the chicken get away from you a little bit, you're still going to be fine. Take 1 cup of water and pour it into a 2-cup measuring cup. Take your plain iodized salt and just pour it in until it reaches to the 1.5 cup mark. Now this works with any salt, so if you got kosher salt or whatever, just pour the salt in there until it reaches 1.5 cups. Once you've done that, then you want to take the resultant slurry that comes from this. You want to mix it around with a spoon a little bit to kind of stir it up, and then you want to pour that into a bowl. The bowl that I'm using is a 5-quart bowl, so I'm gonna pour the slurry in there, rinse it out, and then I'm gonna fill it up to the 1 gallon mark, and then I'm gonna mix it up with a mixing spoon to make sure that the salt has melted all the way through the water. And then after I've done that, I'm gonna put my chicken breast into a bag, and then I'm gonna pour the brine over the chicken breast into the bag, take the air out of it, and then I'm gonna pop them into the refrigerator for about 2 hours. All right, go ahead and take the chicken breast out the bag and drain off the brine. And in this case, we're not gonna rinse them off, because the chicken was only in the brine for about 2 hours, and we want to make sure we got enough salt on the surface to make it flavorful. I'm seasoning with a salt-free brine. You can use your salt-free brine of choice. I'm using Uncle Bird's Henpeck seasoning, which is a mixture of onion, garlic, some various seasonings and spices, and a whole lot of love. But you can use whatever you got on hand, and or you can just use salt, pepper, onion, and garlic. Now, I really like these split chicken breasts because we can season them up. I like to go real heavy on my seasoning. All right, so I want to get you a close-up. I really like these split chicken breasts. You want to make sure that you take that split part and you get a whole lot of seasonings in there. I season it up real heavy and get it underneath the skin. Make sure you pull the skin back and then cover it up. And these bad boys is ready for the grill. We're gonna smoke our chicken on a 22-inch Weber Kettle Classic using Cowboy all natural hardwood briquettes and hickory wood. Now I prefer the hardwood briquettes over charcoal because they give you the clean taste of lump and the temperature control and the convenience of charcoal without having that chemical taste. We need to get the kettle set up by opening up the bottom vent all the way opening so we can get our charcoal lit. Go ahead and place in your bottom vent, and then we're gonna use a whole chimney full of charcoal, and we also gonna drop us a hickory split in the grill. Now I'm using the hickory split to set up the indirect cook that we're gonna be using today. And indirect cooking is basically having the fire on one side of the grill and having the meat on the other side. This keeps from having a fire underneath the meat, and it'll help prevent flare-ups. Now, there's a product that they make called the slow and sear. You can use that, or you can just use this method of using a split and scooting it over to the side. Go ahead and fill up your chimney, and then once the chimney's filled up, take about 2/3 of that and put it on the other side of your hickory split, and then light the remaining charcoal that's in the chimney. And once those are pretty much ashed over, go ahead and pour them over the top of your unlit coals. What's gonna happen is it's gonna come in contact with the wood, so it's gonna put out plenty of hickory smoke, and then your charcoal is gonna burn down kind of like a candle wick. So if you've ever seen one of those, how it starts at the top and it burns down at a slow, even rate. So it's gonna help us control our temperature. It's gonna keep us from having to deal with a whole lot of flare-ups, and we're not gonna have to worry about the chicken burning up because the temperature done ran away from us. We wanna make sure that we're working with a clean surface, so put the top on and let the grates get hot, and then you can clean them off real easy. Now in this video, I'm using a technique that's called I forgot to get another grill brush. So when this happens and you're in a pinch, you can just take some balled up aluminum foil, and you can just scrape that across the grill, and you can use that, and it'll get in the gaps, and it'll get a pretty clean surface for you to go ahead and get to cooking. So once I was satisfied that the grill was clean enough to use, I took the grill grates off, and then I rearranged the coals, and I moved the wood over a little bit so it could maximize the area that I'll have for cooking, since we're gonna be cooking indirect and I'm not gonna have the meat directly over the coals. Now that we have our indirect fire set up the way that we want it, we can put the cooking grate back on, and we can start dropping our chicken breasts. Now you wanna make sure that when you put the chicken breasts on the grill that you orient the biggest end of the breast towards the fire. I say it again for the people in the back. Make sure that you have the biggest end of the chicken breast oriented towards the fire. That's going to promote even cooking. Now we got our very first check going in. They're looking pretty good. They're getting some color on them. Now on our second check, we want to come back and spritz them with some plain distilled white vinegar. Don't be trying to put all them seasonings in there. All you're gonna do is clog up the bottle. Just use plain distilled white vinegar, and that's gonna do two things. The vinegar is gonna help tenderize the meat, and it's gonna keep the surface wet. As long as the surface remains wet, it's gonna keep absorbing the smoke. So it gives the smoke particles something to stick to. So now we're on our final check. Everything looking like it's about done. So we're gonna hit them again. We'll hit them again with that vinegar. That vinegar really does help with the tenderization of the meat, and then you don't have to worry about having like a real tangy taste. All right, so these last three look like they about ready to come off. All we really got to do is get a final temperature check to make sure, and as long as they hit at least 163, they'll be fine, because the carryover cooking will take them to the final food safe temperature of 165. So looks like everybody's ready to leave the party. Look at those chicken breasts. They just look absolutely delicious. You let these rest for about 10 minutes or so. I normally just pop them in my microwave and it'll stay pretty warm. Or a better way to rest them is to pop them into a small heated cooler for about 30 minutes, and that will give the temperature and the juices a chance to redistribute out the meat and give you the best eating experience. But let's take a look and see what we got. We've got juice.